Alan 12, and welcome to another episode of Engines of Norfolk and Western. Today we'll be looking at the Class J locomotives. So, let's get into it. The first J-class locomotives, number 600 to 610, had 275 pounds per square inch PSI boilers, 70-inch, 1,778 millimeters driving wheels, and Timken roller bearings on all axles, rods, pistons, crossheads, valve gear, and wrist pins. After 1945, the boiler pressure was raised to 300 psi. Calculated tractive effort was 80,000 pounds, 36,000 kilograms. The most powerful 484 without a booster. The driving wheels were small for a locomotive that was able to pull trains at more than 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers an hour. To overcome the limitation, the wheelbase was made extremely rigid. Lightweight rods were used, and counterbalancing was precise. So precise that it could theoretically allow the locomotives to reach speeds up to 140 miles per hour, 230 kilometers an hour, without the rail damage that could have occurred with conventional designs. The J's distinctive streamlining was designed by the NNW tool supervisor Franklin C. Noel, and were painted black with a Tuscan red stripe and golden yellow linings and letterings. As delivered, the J-class locomotives had duplex two coupling rods between the main, second, and third drivers. But in the 1950s, Norfolk and Western's engineers deemed them unnecessary. A single coupling rod was substituted between the main and third drivers. The negative effect of the J's highly engineered powertrain was that it made the locomotive sensitive to substandard track. While on loan in 1945, number 610 hauled a 10-15-ton passenger train with 15 cars at speeds of more than 110 miles per hour, 180 kilometers an hour, over a section of flat straight track on the Pennsylvania Railroad known as the racetrack in the Fort Wayne Division. The J-class locomotives were built with automatic lubricators at 220 points, allowing them to operate up to 1,300 miles, 2,100 kilometers between refills. Despite their comparatively small driving wheels, they rode very smoothly at all speeds. The Pennsylvania Railroad's inspector stated that it rode better than any of their own steam locomotives except for the 644 class S1. And it also steamed very well due to the large grate. The first five locomotives, number 600 to 604, were outshipped between October 1941 and January 1942, costing the railroad U.S. dollars $167,000 apiece. The second batch of 6 locomotives was delivered in 1943 without streamlined shrouding and lightweight side rods, due to the limitations on the use of certain materials during the war, classifying them as the J1s. When World War II ended in 1945, the NNW were allowed to reclassify the J1s as the Js with the lightweight rods and streamlined shrouding added. The last batch of 3 locomotives, rolled out in summer 1950, were marked as the last steam passenger locomotives built in the United States. The J-classes pulled the network's prominent passenger trains, such as the Powhatan Arrow, the Pocahontas, and the Cavalier between Norfolk, Virginia, and Cincinnati, Ohio, as well as ferrying Southern Railways, the Birmingham Special, the Pelican, and the Tennessean between Monroe, Virginia, and Bristol, Tennessee. Because of their power and speed, the Class J's were among the most reliable and efficient engines, running as many as 15,000 miles to 24,000 kilometers per month, even on the mountainous and relatively short route of the NNW. In the late 1950s, NNW began purchasing first-generation diesel locomotives, experimenting with fuel and maintenance costs. They leased several sets of EMD E6s, E7s, E8s from the Atlantic Coast Line and Richmond Fredericksburg and Potomac railroads. As a result, the Class J's were retired from passenger service. Their tenders were given doghouses to accommodate the head and brakeman when the Class J's were reassigned to freight service until they were all retired between 1958 and 1959. One locomotive, number 611, has been preserved. Its survival was partly due to its excellent condition after its 1956 derailment and subsequent weak repair, and also in part to the efforts of Etonian rail fan W. Graham Plater, Jr., who offered to preserve the locomotive rather than seeing it scrapped. The locomotive was donated to the Roanoke Transportation Museum in 1962, where it sat on static display for 2 decades. Since then, it has had 2 extraordinary careers, from 1982 to 1994. After the Norfolk Southern Railway restored the locomotive, and from 2015 onwards by the VMT. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on my videos. Next will be the Class M. Anyways, bye-bye.